Welcome back to Lord of the Rings, the piece of crap. I think we're gonna check more lore. Yes.
Oh wow, the piece of crap edition. That must
Show
be a
up.
new edition.
Even Gandalf was troubled and afraid when he heard Faramir's report of Frodo's...
This happens in Return of the King, if you forgot.
Yeah. Decision to enter Mordor by the path of Cirith Ungol, the spider's cleft. This giant spider is not an animal. She is an ancient being, that's descendant of the terrible Ungoliant, a demon creature of darkness and gluttony. Shelob guards the pass of Cirith Ungol, and Sauron lets her be. Though not a servant of the Dark Lord, she serves his purposes, and the orcs respectfully refer to her as her ladyship. Gollum seems to have a pact with Shelob, and he worships her.
Pact, yes, that's exactly why she tried to eat us in the last
Mostly what
part.
happens in this game. In the book, it's more of a case of mutual understanding of some kind.
True, but shouldn't the lore be tethered to what happens in this game in specific?
Again, I honestly don't know what the writer is thinking, because again, stuff like this showcase that they read the source material. So, you know,
Yeah,
it's not like they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, like, you know, that's a good point. This is such a weird middle ground. Like, you would think, oh, maybe they don't know, but no, they clearly do know, so it just leads you to wonder, why did they do things like this in the game?
Again, we joked, rightfully so, about, you know, Sherlock's human form in Shadow War, and yet it does feel more respectful to the source material than whatever is happening in these.
Because, well, it helps that, okay, for as silly as it is that apparently Shelob was helping the heroes all along.
And that's actually Sauron, by the way.
Like, that stuff at least can make sense. And to be fair, in the context of stuff with Shelob is not as, you know, defined. But in this game, though, the problem is they give us the lore of one thing, but then have something completely different happen in the game. It's the two clashing, and thus makes this game feel like it does not fit in the lore.
Sorry, Pedro. Turns out that the water is still a flat surface in some cases.
Is it? No. I was under the impression that water was liquid. I just...
Did we mention, because I don't know about...
Is this a Middle Earth thing, where there's water that's solid? Well, that's that's ice, I guess, but... Go on.
To be fair, technically speaking, if we want to be... Well, not for this universe, there are non-Newtonian fluids, if you want to get technical, but I forgot if we mentioned in one of the early parts, so probably we did, I forgot in case. What engine is this running on?
Unreal Engine 4.
Okay, so it's not even a... Oh god, I literally saw the text for Gollum and flipping. So it's not even a case of, you know, the engine potentially giving trouble. The Unreal is actually famous, you know, for being very, you know, versatile and, you know, usually not causing problems like Unity otherwise would do.
Or like Frostbite.
It's interesting. It's interesting because I've played a lot of games that were made in Unity, like Neo: The World Ends With You, Hollow Knight. I've played a lot of games that are made in Unity.
This way, it's easier with Unity to fuck things up, especially if it's made used for do something that it's normally not intended. For example, there's a game called Caves of Kud, which is an indie roguelike. Like Pedro, if you don't like normal 8-bit, if you find 8-bit throwback pixel art, a bit annoying and oversaturated, that one goes back to not even, a bit like Text Adventures, but also Atari 2600 level of pixel art.
Well, at least with Atari 2600, it's actually, like, I don't typically see throwbacks to the Atari 2600 era, so that I'm more okay with, you know, do something different, you know.
Keep in mind, I was mostly joking.
Sure.
My point being, because it's done with Unity, but because it has a roguelike structure and it has to generate an entire world with different components in every single time, not only the loading times, you know, even on optimized, I think it's only on PC, I forgot if there's a console release, but the loading times are absurdly long. You know, even if you do something accidentally, like throwing a grenade inside a ventilation shaft, because the game has to randomly calculate all the damage that it does for the different layers of it. But it can also be prone to crash. I don't know if the recent updates have fixed that, but by the time I checked the game, it was kind of a mess because of that. Not necessarily it makes it a bad game, but unfortunately it was a case where, the engine made it was not the ideal in order for that kind of game to be made.
I've actually used both those engines in some video game
there's also
design
that
classes.
Unity is also very friendly towards users because usually it's more welcoming and it's, okay, don't remember if it's still free, especially after the whole debacle.
Indie developers
it's definitely more accessible than Unreal.
Like if you use Unreal, you have to actually pay a commission to Epic Games to use it, whereas with Unity, you can, fortunately, now that ever since they dialed back on those terrible ideas they had recently, I forgot which one of the name of the model is, but there's that model that indie developers use that is free to use. Like for example, the guy who's working on Project 06, he restarted. Now he's continuing the project because now he can actually do it without having to break his bank. So
okay, so
but
if I may, when it comes to the two engines, Unity is definitely a lot easier to learn and begin with, but I will say this, that the further you go in with it, Unreal is definitely the better engine because Unreal is more versatile, and Unreal doesn't feel nearly as stiff or laggy to use. Whereas Unity, okay, let me put it like this. Unity definitely has seniority over Unreal in that, it kind of came first. Well, okay, and I say compared to like Unreal 4 and 5, obviously. It's just that, it's hard to describe it without showing it to you, but Unreal definitely feels...
No, I understand. Okay. I've heard stuff about it from developers. I understand what you mean.
Let me put it like this. Unreal feels like a Swiss Army knife, completely versatile for almost anything. Unity feels like that very specific tool that's better at some things, but not most of them.
Like because I've taught because I actually am subscribed to a specific to a few YouTubers who are video game developers, like Modern Vintage Gamer, and there's one in particular that talks about and dispels a lot of things uninformed people say about game development, like the whole developers should just make games for PC because PCs are so much better than consoles anyway, and that developer even made a video. Actually, guys, we prefer to make games for one console actually because it's much easier for us to make sure the experience is consistent for all users if we make it for a console. So there's a lot of things about video game development that people, unfortunately, for some reason, don't seem to understand. But anyway, like for example, I can imagine that the reason Nomura and his team used Unity for Neo: The World Ends With You is probably because it's free to use, and Square Enix probably didn't want them to spend as less money as possible, probably.
I could also maybe see Unity have been tasked better to the sort of game that Neo: The World Ends With You is, potentially as well, since, given how it plays essentially.
Well, it's an action. It's still the action. It's still the overall gameplay is still the same. The only difference is that now it has traditional controls, but the actual combat system still operates. Remember, it's Ito once again doing the gameplay, and he basically reuses the same formula as the first game. Again, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right?
Well, that's my point, though. It's like, well, given how the first game and consequently the sequel plays, I wonder if that specific form of gameplay is better oriented with Unity. Again, I don't know all the specifics. Like, I've taken video game design courses, but I'm not like,
this bit here. Okay, so
water kills you here.
Well, no. Well, okay. To be fair, it makes sense here because this is meant to be a strong current. So this is. I think Gollum even said that right just now earlier in the throwaway line. I think. So to be fair, it makes sense here. It's not. That's not what I have a problem with. The problem here is that in order to make this jump, you have to make a running jump. Thing is, you have to literally jump right at the last minute as you're about to fall from the platform when you're running. Like, you have to be freaking exact. Which, anyone who plays these types of games knows that the jumping controls are usually not the best. Usually, when you want to make platforming in a game like this, you make sure you design the platforming around set controls. Uncharted does this. You know, Uncharted has platforming sections, but they're simplified enough so that the controls still work fine with the platforming, right? This game, on the other hand, is asking me to do precise platforming with controls that were clearly not made for that purpose.
Would it truly have killed them to have added a ledge grabbing maneuver?
I was about to say, because again, the first Rayman.
Well, technically we have that, Jova. It's just that we can only grab the ledges that the game.
Jova means the same thing I was about to ask. Like, it would have been so hard to implement the idea that every single surface you can do for this particular section, for example, has a grabbable edge that you can get to it. You know?
Yeah, I really don't understand why it seems.
Look at it, like it feels like you're supposed to be ledge grabbing here, at least with how the game works in that regard. But no, they decided, no, let's make this extra tough. Either they did this for challenge, or
again,
nobody
the first
tested this.
knew how to do this.
Well, Rayman is actually a platformer, like a focused platformer.
I mean, even still, this game has edge grabbing in
my
it.
point being, this was stuff that was actually perfected on the PlayStation.
Oh yeah,
on the PlayStation.
Here, I just don't get it. Why is it that only Uncharted has a system that allows Nate to grab every ledge? I don't understand. Is it really that hard to implement this?
I'm guessing developers think, oh, it would make our games too easy if we let all ledges to be grabbed. And I'm like, dudes, just let there be player.
That's what level design is for. In that case, design the level around that ability. Again, the same problem I have with the whole argument about the Superman's games. Oh, if we give players access to Superman's powers, then the character will be too broken and the game will be too easy. In that case, you should just design the game around Superman's powers then. Like...
Or here's a wild idea. Instead of focusing on just how to make things difficult, focus first and foremost on making it fun. Yes.
Like, there are plenty of games that are easy, but still really fun. Like, Challenge is not this absolute... Unlike what some YouTubers, gaming YouTubers out there would have you believe, Challenge by itself, on its own, does not automatically make a game good.
Yeah, and heck, sometimes when it's done bad, it can actually make a game hated.
Exactly. So, like, challenge is not an absolute requirement. It can be a really good thing. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, and you should still have some level of challenge to make sure the player actually earns this. You heard that, Deck 9. So just to make sure that the game, that the player actually feels like he's earning his ending, right? But you should still not go obsessive with it, right? All right, hold on. We're about to finally get it. So basically, we've gone all this way just to get that fish scale, a bonefish.
Why? Is it part of Gollum's plan?
Yes. Basically. Okay, let's go back now. Great.
Also, how did a fish get all the way up there?
Oh fuck! I think it was tied to the bird that Gollum noticed.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, something like that. I'm going to be totally.
Again, the bird that Gollum helped raise, you know, from the Candleman's office place. Oh fuck! You know, he seems to be still loyal enough to follow him.
So here's the thing. You see that wall with the spider web or whatever that thing is on the wall? I'm supposed to jump on that and jump myself from that, and up until this, at the time of this recording, all of my time recording this, that's the only time that the player has been expected to do that, and it's weird.
That's the thing. You didn't even jump off of it. It's more like you got caught on the rocks, and I guess the game decided to have mercy.
Whatever, it worked. I'm not complaining. Go ahead.
Yeah, we take those kind of victories.
But this is a good point, though. Like, it kind of feels like this kick wall thing is coming out of nowhere. Granted, if I recall correctly, we have had some wall jump sections, but even still, they've been far and few between, to the point where we could have potentially forgotten about ones we did in the past.
Indeed. Okay. Here's the thing about I'm going to be totally honest with you regarding the plot, by the way. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I recorded one part today at the time of this recording, right? I'm not kidding you. There was a cutscene going on and my mind kind of dozed off, and when I came back to my senses, I was, oh, Oh, thank God I don't care. Moving. Like I'm serious. I am so. Go on. No, go on.
It wasn't even one of those videos of I'm never skipping a cutscene ever again because of the disconnect that happens between the start of a scene and the end.
Yeah, it's because the plot is so boring and nothing even remotely interesting happens in this game. It's just like it's so hard for me to pay attention. It's like I'm playing Fairfence Ref Refrain Chord.
At least the scenery now is more pleasant.
Yeah.
Like,
it's both this and Fairfence Ref Refrain Chord. Those are the two games I played recently. Look forward to a playthrough that in the near future, everybody, by the way. But, like, seriously, like, the plots are so generic and boring that I just, like, I struggle to even stay attentive. It's difficult. My mind just wants to automatically reject it and move my attention to somewhere else, you know.
Maybe I'll be able to find something of interest in Refrain Chord, but I think I've definitely noticed. Well, okay, we kind of have already given our guesses on the plot here, but another thing I've noticed about the
whatever.
Gollum was supposed to grab onto the berry vines, but because there was the big hunk of wood, it was clipping slightly.
Why did they even put the hunk of wood there? All it does is just like whatever. Go ahead, Dubs.
No, I wasn't gonna.
Okay, go ahead, Jova.
Right, yeah. I feel like part of this game's issue with the story is I wonder if they were just so scared of accidentally contradicting something from the mythos that this is why the story is so hands-off with actually doing something interesting. Like, a lot of it is spent in a prison, safely where we can't accidentally mess with the canon. And they don't really do anything much about Gollum because it's almost like they're afraid to accidentally change something about him. That reminds
me, I forgot about this. Thanks for reminding me, Jova. See, I was actually curious to check potentially the thing that I mentioned I will try to do in between parts. That I was trying to look up, a playthrough or a guide to see if there are alternate things leading up from your choice. They technically still happening, but my searching led me to where else? GameFAQs. Unsurprisingly, there's no, yet not a guide to this. Like I did everything in the sweetest time to do it. But I can tell you that the Q&A section has only one question done 5 months ago by the time of this recording, and it seems that it's more in tune to one thing that Pedro said at the beginning. I will post it later, also potentially link in the description, but this user asked question: does the whole game take place in the same location? Not even the article. I'm on chapter 4 and he's still a slave inside the caves and with the orcs. Is this how the rest of the game will be? Will he get to go outside and have a different scenery in this cave, like some greenery, or explore / platform a different area of the world? I know this is an open world, but I thought I would have more location than just these orc caves.
And yeah, that would be fun. Fun fact, dude. You have to wait till chapter 7 to see greenery.
Wait, really?
Well, remember, this is chapter 7 that we're doing. You mean?
I'm talking about the story. So, are the elves really going to buy? Oh, Smeagol didn't try to run away. He just got lost.
This, like I said, Thranduil really need to start actually enforcing a bit of, discipline to his guards.
All paths will lead you back to us. For none can leave or enter our realm without permission.
To be fair, this is slightly consistent with the Elves of Mirkwood. Again, one thing that the Hobbit movies did not showcase, but the book talks about, is that the Mirkwood Elves are masters of deception. The idea that the dwarves and Bilbo managed to see a lot of feast that they're having, but every time they try to reach them, they disappear in a haze of fog. So,
oh my god, look at the foliage! It's waving around like it's a consecutive towel!
Bird up.
Also, the bird's feathers look more like fur than feathers to me.
So...
Oh god! Jesus!
Oh god! Jesus! That bird has looked into the abyss.
Well, there you go, Dwebs. There's your nightmare for tonight. Hope you enjoy it.
How lovely. Thank you.
I guess I just wonder, what's really the big point or purpose of this, aside from Gollum wanting to get out? Like, if anything, Yeah, he's being held captive, but it seems like it's much better treating than the prison
To be fair,
stuff.
Jova, okay, while
Right.
while obviously not on the same level of empathy, a gilded cage is still a cage.
Let me put it this way.
is
Let me put it this way, Jova. Here's the best description of the game so far. We managed to get out of the fire, but into the frying pan.
So, like, so are we supposed to hate these elves or something? Like,
Yes, because in a moment they're going to kind of trap us in here, but we're going to meet a blind elf who's going to help
Yeah,
us.
the one we saw in the cell
yeah,
near
they
us.
mentioned
Yeah,
her
Mell.
earlier.
Is Mell a prominent character in the books too?
Sorry?
Mell, the blind elf.
No. Like
Okay.
I said, stuff people like the Candleman or her, you know, they're taking the additions. When it comes to Gollum's presence in Thranduil's Hall as a captive, if I recall correctly, either he managed to escape on his own, or Thranduil decided to just let him go because he deemed it, you know, harmless. But I think the first happened, and as we will see also by this game, don't worry, it's not too much of a spoiler because it's getting in line. That will lead Gollum to enter the Mines of Moria from the eastern side, and eventually that will make him connect with the Fellowship by the time we're actually getting in there. Oh God!
Good lord, that guy's back looks broken from it. And also, the way he sat down was just... That was frame to frame, not even a proper animation.
So show some mirth, and don't touch the fish in the lake.
Why do you care if I touch the fish in the lake?
Aloud.
Yugi boy.
Precious. The blind elf in the cellars, it knows things, they says. And they says, don't trust her. But elves are false. Let's go see for ourselves.
But Mell herself is an elf, so if you think all elves are false, why would you trust another elf?
You.
Where it's Gollum, circular logic and stuff like that is basically his bread and butter.
Maybe the idea, Job, is that Gollum thinks all elves are false, but what does Smeagol think? Alright.
I swear,
Could you imagine if Smeagol or Gollum had a social media account?
wait, it's that easy for us to go to the cellars
Barely
in
an
plain sight of
inconvenience,
everyone?
Uh,
Okay.
You won't be able to tell which one was. How would you tell which tweets from Smeagol and which one's from Gollum?
Oh, that's very easy to do. The toxic ones are from Gollum, and the vanilla ones are from Smeagol.
Yeah, and
course.
Smeagol has to do all the apology tweets.
Yeah, Smeagol would be doing all the apology tweets, and Gollum would keep...
Spouting racial slurs, yeah.
yeah.
God.
Precious is red-pilled.
Alright, Mel.
The strange elf. We hears it grieve.
Again, an elf of such high concern, not even flipping guarded from this angle where somebody could easily talk to her. Like, there's being arrogant, and then there's just being a narratively driven moron.
I swear to you, the first time we had a scene, this type of scene where we're watching the window, I genuinely thought to myself, "Oh my God, did they not render her character model because they ran out of money or something?"
I was beginning to wonder that
Just
too.
decent. So, Glimpse,
She's a
can
window.
you check us who she's voiced by? Spelled M-E-L-L.
Yeah, Mel.
Where is it?
It was my pleasure. Smeagol.
Jessica
sake.
Ellaby.
Okay, it's also another British actress.
Yeah. She's only got this credit on IMDb, but I'm just checking everything else.
I can tell you that she's
she's-
doing a good job. So
Yeah, she's been in stuff like Love Sick, the Netflix sitcom, Series 8 of Benidorm, and the more recent Pennyworth series.
Yes, that's a show called Pennyworth, a story of Batman's butler.
That series that Teen Titans Go made a joke about it being a spin-off of, the movie.
Yeah.
And then he actually went and made it.
Okay, so let's go. We have to... Yeah, basically I'm trying to get my bearings. Wait, where did that come from again? Because I genuinely lost my bearings in this part, because I forgot. Wait, where did I enter the room from again?
So Pedro, do we actually get to see Mell later on?
Yes.
Oh no, yes,
sorry.
she's actually going to become one of our partner characters.
Yeah.
So
Which begs the question: will she survive? Unlike Crashneck, start placing your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, when I checked behind the voice actors, they did show a character model of her.
Yeah.
Oh,
We also got to see. Remember, Jova, we also got to see her model before as a tease when Gandalf was talking to Gollum.
I'll admit, I legit forgot about that. Like, I mean, it's not even just that, like, I completely forgot. It's just, well, the way stuff is framed and shot in this game is not always the most
It's mostly due to the very slow pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, for all I know, Mell could be the cruel woman's model, just given pointy ears.
New objective: talk to the cook.
Woo!
Is he play?
Gollum, everyone.
Is he played by René Aubernois? Maybe. Yeah.
How about Gordon
Maybe.
Ramsay?
Well, to be fair,
You fucking donkey, Gollum!
I'm sorry, Chef,
No,
I'm
it
sorry,
can't be.
Chef.
No, it can't be Gordon Ramsay. The person who they got here can actually act.
Okay. I know Gordon Ramsay's been in a few things.
No,
but
Gordon Ramsay is great at being himself, not so much as an actor, obviously.
No, he isn't.
Wait.
You mean like acting as himself in that movie, right? You mean? Well, okay. Let me rephrase that, Whips. He's great when he's performing in his element, as in, kitchen, doing his job.
Kitchen and the like.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Dwibs, which movie were you referring to? I was thinking you were referring to...
I was referring to a movie he was in called Love's Kitchen.
Love's Kitchen. Jesus, what is that about?
I really have
to...
It stars the main villain out of Mission Impossible 2. Yeah, his career really went places after that movie. Where he plays a chef whose wife dies, he falls into a slump and starts microwaving stuff, but then he moves to another pub, starts making stuff there, and he falls in love and
Oh my god, really?
And what does Gordon Ramsay star as in that one?
Cameo, I guess.
He cameos as himself trying to get Dougray Scott's character out of his funk, but he is
Hello.
but he's really unconvincing as himself.
The only thing I've seen him act in is that one episode of The Simpsons he was in.
And there was also he showed up in a Muppet special.
Oh, was he good in that?
Yes, he was. I'm really sorry. Honestly, Tibbs, I really have to wonder what direction they gave the man, because I can tell you that in The Simpsons and in the Muppets, he's just fine.
Yeah.
He and his scholars tried to protect
Well, I just put
our
up a scene there.
But the Mirkwood devoured them all. Mell was the only one who returned, blinded and confused.
Yeah, we're going to learn more about that later.
Design for the cook, though, honey. Don't you know piercings aren't the? Oh wait, no, that may not be piercings. That's just how her nose looks rendered with the lighting.
Secured it with a spell to
Like it looks like she has piercing on her nose. I can't
You're
tell.
wondering about what she's telling about why Mell survived and everything. If you forgot, the Elves of Mirkwood have usually a sort of a symbiotic relationship.
Hold on, I have to mention this. Okay, so we can pick what we can bring her. Let's bring her wine. Let's bring her some booze. There you go, Gollum. Unfortunately, there will not be a scene of Gollum and Mell getting drunk together. Sorry.
Well, as Gollum just said, he doesn't particularly like alcohol, which, sure. Hobbits tend to enjoy beer, but I get the idea that Gollum has a particular taste.
Nice food, yes.
I forgot what I was saying before.
Well, I actually have something to say.
Right. I'll mention later. Don't worry. Go on.
One correction from... okay, not correction technically, but just I wanted to make something clear from something we said in the last part. Okay, I should mention that $70 is the price of the Precious Edition. aka the edition that comes with the lore compendium and the Cinderin voice acting. The standard edition is $60. That being said, that doesn't really make anything better, because those DLC features should have been in the bloody base game. So...
No, not us. The Riddlemaster has been seen, yes, out in the woods, beyond the terrible haze, if one
I'm
can
sorry,
trust
but
elves.
some of these names for these new characters, I get it. Maybe it's supposed to be from Gollum's perspective. The weird thing is that it's inconsistent. Like, some of these are just basic stuff.
Did you notice her animation?
Model clipped in.
Yeah.
The
this-
choppiness.
Game, can you stay stable for at least 5 minutes?
Her head again.
The haze is also the reason why Gollum cannot really just potentially escape on his own.
How sad is it that Gollum is the best character model and best animated in the game? How sad is that? Come on,
Ever
Tail.
since the advent of the Necromancer, you know, by the time of the Hobbit and then the subsequent 60 years of Return of Sauron, the Mirkwood became a much more dangerous place, and Thranduil's court decided to, you know, stay more secluded and cannot just walk freely anymore.
Days
This is
later.
why Legolas goes to the Council of Rivendell. The situation is important even for them.
Okay.
It's nice to know that it's days later. Also,
Again,
you
just
know,
like in the prison, time passes and the game deems it's not too important, I guess.
also, let me get this straight. So the elves are like, don't talk to Mell, but they're also like, oh, you can totally, like, bring food to Mell, but just promise us you won't talk to her. While nobody keeps an eye on you two. Don't go conspiring now.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what will happen next? Spoilers, nothing interesting. So see you then.
Hooray.
Woo!
So yeah.
See ya.
Ta-ta.